distribute on LinkedIn several times a week. I'm curious to know your workflow, the tools that you use, and how do you go from recording to distributing on LinkedIn? What's your workflow?
So I have a bit of a creative process. I have a list of people that, first off, I have a list. I have a list of people that I want to talk to. I have a list of topics I want to talk about. And for example, I wanted to talk about Gen Z in the workplace. And it just so happens that at a networking event, I found that person. And so it was an instant, like, you have this to offer. Like, I've been looking for this. So they came on the podcast. But it starts with a list. The list gets you organized. From there, I've never had anybody say no either. That's another thing to point out. From there, I invite them to be part of the podcast, depending on how clear I am about what I want to talk to them about, or depending on different situations. I'll invite them to have a chat, and maybe we workshop the podcast, or I get to know them a little bit better. They get to know me. From there, I schedule it, we do the podcast, and then we get into the editing. And I generally work in batches and about 3 months ahead of time. So I will organize and record 3 podcasts in the space of a week. And then I will edit them over the next 3 months, essentially, so that I've got plenty of time. And in terms of technology, I use Riverside, and that's kind of it. Yeah, that's the only tech stack that I have for my podcast. I edit it. I was editing it in a different program, but it's much easier to just edit it in Riverside now that they've got a lot better. I generally use Riverside's like editing, like it'll go find some clips, or now you can even just type in like what conversation, and it'll make a clip, and I will go in and edit those so that just to tighten it up a little bit. But that's kind of the whole process. I don't do much beyond that. I suppose planning the podcast, different to your podcast, I write an intro for my guests. I introduce why we're talking about them. I frame it into a sales lens so that there's sort of a through line. And then I write the first question. That's all I do. And then I don't plan anything beyond that. So I just ask I have the first question, I have the last question, and wherever the conversation takes us in between.